Welcome back to this glorious Monday, April 6th, year of our Lord 2026. I've been reading the live stream comments before we started this here little live stream, and there are a couple that are like, I'm kind of sick of this case. You know what? I'm kind of sick of talking about JLR. I got to tell you that. However, I will never tire of talking about DV, which is a very, very important topic that we continue to cover. And last week, on Friday, before we broke for the weekend, Javi, did you notice how fancy I said that? I didn't just say weekend, I said weekend. I put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. It was great. Anyway, we didn't finish listening to the recording of Magnolia's calls to Florida police describing the things that she alleges Mr. Jonathan Lee Riches did to her. So we're definitely going to finish that out. We've got some other news that we want to talk about as well today. Gavin, you should have brought that up. So we're gonna cover a little JLR. We're gonna finish that audio from Magnolia. And then there are updates in the Nancy Guthrie case and the Amy Hilliard case. I want to bring you a little bit of information about the DeMorris Hunter case. Some viewers sent some information on in. I hadn't been paying attention to this case, so we're going to talk about that. And then a new thing that we're going to do today. I'm sick of just talking about bad news. Maybe it's that we just celebrated Easter and I'm just in a happy mood. I'm in a happy mood. We're gonna do some like good news of the day. We're gonna try this on. We're gonna try it on for size. Just see what it's like to talk about good news. And of course, we're gonna do 3 questions. So yeah, busy show today. Stick with me. This video contains mature themes and discussions intended only for adult audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Well, hello there, my friend. Welcome back to another true crime conversation with me, Gavin Fish. So glad you're joining me, wherever you're joining me from. I do love it when you tell me where you're joining me from. Brownie points, extra bonus points, extra special bonus points if you can tell me in a creative way that doesn't stump me. Because I used to say, tell me creatively, and then I had no idea where you guys are from. I fancy myself a geography kind of nerd. Especially U.S. geography, but because I'm the Johnny Cash of YouTubers, I've been everywhere. I tend to know where places are. Plus, who am I kidding? I think geography is cool. I think it's fun. So tell me where you are tuning in from. Okay, what are we talking about today? We're talking about this guy. Wrong. What the devil is happening here? Guys, do you see what's happening? Those of you who are watching? Craziness. Let me see if I can fix this. Weird. I did an update of my software. I don't think we're going to be able to use lower thirds today. I wonder what happens when I show the live chat. Let's see if the live chat's going to work. Live chat's going to work. Okay. We're not going to be able to do our regular lower thirds today. While we've got this up, Melissa says, what I want to know is JLR going to be prosecuted for abusing Magnolia? We all want to know that. Before we started, it's actually the reason I was a little late today, went to the Washington State case lookup in Chelan County. I looked at district court. I looked at superior court. I cannot find a case. So I don't know. I do not know. And I've never been called back. I've called out there, but I've never been called back. So I don't know the answer to that question, Melissa, but we're going to get into it. Okay, this guy right here, his name is Mr. Jonathan Lee Riches, and Mr. Riches is a YouTuber. He creates true crime content here on YouTube. He has a big channel. more than 500,000 subscribers. I like to say, since we're talking about JLR, just up front, for those of you who are hating on me for talking about JLR, yes, I am jealous of him. Yes, I just am. He's got a huge channel. He's appears to be doing well on YouTube. And he has a talent for making content that people like and engage with. On the other hand, it is alleged by Jamie Phillips that he has repeatedly abused her, including strangulation. And we take this very seriously here. Take it super seriously because strangulation makes you 800 times more likely to die of a homicide if you are a victim survivor of strangulation. I feel like I made up that. Was it 800 times or 800% more likely? It might be 800% more likely, so 8 times more likely. And that sounds more feasible to me. It's somewhere between 8 times and 800 times more likely. As you guys know, 97% of all statistics are made up on the spot. But yeah, we take it seriously because it is a precursor to homicide. And we've had Brian Bennett on here, a strangulation expert, a former law enforcement official, to tell us all about this. Now, I'm not saying that Mr. Riches did this. I'm saying that Ms. Phillips said he did. And she has gone to great lengths to report it, which is a difficult thing to do for somebody in the position where they are being abused by their domestic partner. I personally, from everything that I've read, that I've shared with you here on this channel, and the stuff that we've listened to that I've also shared with you on this channel. I've also shared this stuff on Patreon, by the way. If you ever want to see these documents, they're available on Patreon. Link is in the description below. I believe her. I also think that we need to keep our skeptic hats on, though. And I'm getting a little flack in the comments for this. Gavin, pick a side. No, there are no sides to pick here. My side is I do not like DV, and I want to fight against DV. And if this ever gets to a court of law, then a jury will judge the facts. For now, we're reporting on them. We're having a conversation about them because it's important to do so. Okay. All right. Let's check in with all y'all to see where you guys are checking in from. Emmy says, I just hope JLR doesn't sue any of us for talking about him. Well, there is a lengthy record of him being a litigious person. There's also a lengthy record of him losing everything. So I'm not super worried. Not super worried. Sharky Sharona. Hello from a space of Big Blue and Heavenly Mountain. I think I know where you might be from, Sharky Sharona. I'm glad you are here. Thank you very much for checking in with us. Let's see. Emmy is with us from San Jose. Glad you are here. Cold Aquarius is here from Quilt City. Not sure where Quilt City is. Thank you very much for checking in. Oregon is in the house. Thank you very much. From the birthplace of Route 66. So I'm not sure which direction they made it. Is it Chicago? Or is it San Bernardino? I think it ends in San Bernardino. Kimberly and I have driven all of Route 66 with our family. It's pretty fun. Good evening from the area of Little Women and Thoreau. Well, thank you very much for being here. I feel like I should know that. I don't, though. Just a couple more before. Let's see. Hello from the Canadian province beside British Columbia. I'm afraid the only places I've been to in Canada are Quebec and British Columbia. I know there are Northern Territories up there. I know there's Labrador and Newfoundland. I'm missing the middle, though. I'm missing the middle. Thank you for joining us. I'm Goddess is joining from Erie, PA. I'm Goddess. There was a little snow here in our part of Western Pennsylvania day after Easter. Wonder what it was like up for you where it really gets cold. Jacksonville is in the house. Yeah, best line from Downton Abbey. What is a weekend? Actually, I was channeling um, Dame Maggie Smith when I said weekend. Middleton, Idaho is in the house where the tulips are a bloomin'. Thanks for being here. And then thank you to Provocateur Librarian for starting us out with a super chat. She says, I stopped watching JLR ages ago because he freaked me out. If I had seen him without his hat on, I would have stopped sooner. Looks like a total nzi. Oh, I'm apparently too old to know what that means, but from context, I feel like it is not a compliment to Mr. Investigates. Sherry says, regardless if he gets prosecuted or not, I'm very glad she's away from him and safe with family now. I am too. Thank you very much. And Dusty's voice, watching from the home of the Little League World Series, I believe. See, I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed about this because I grew up in a baseball household. Not really a baseball player myself, but definitely a baseball household. We're in the Commonwealth, right? We're in the Commonwealth? Yes. My city in Texas has a wrench named after it. Oh my goodness. Evening from the city of Salt. You guys, well, let's see. We got listening from the home of Mighty Mac. We've got listening from the UK. Hello from where Fight Club was filmed. Oh my goodness. Hell's Half Acre, North Carolina. Is Cooperstown where they do the Little League World Series? I've been to Cooperstown. Went with my mom and dad. Very cool. Very cool. Thank you guys for joining with me today. Grateful for you. Okie dokie. So we've done the recap. We know who we're talking about. We haven't really done the recap. Mr. Riches and Ms. Phillips were domestic partners. They did travel around quite a bit for his work. They cohabitated. They owned a home together in the state of Florida. And they were in Washington State, Chelan County, Washington State over Christmas, just what, 3+ months ago. And Ms. Phillips says that he abused her physically, that he broke her nose, that he caused problems where she had to have surgery. She called police. They came and investigated. Police said they had probable cause to arrest Mr. Riches on 3 felonious counts. Thrice felonious is what we named our band last week, right? JLR is thrice felonious. No, not really. These are just allegations. Okay, everyone, just calm down. But probable cause was there according to the police officers. We then heard. We read that Miss Phillips, found her way back to her home where her family is, where she feels safe and has a support system, though. And Mr. Phillips went back to Florida, then went back to Arizona. I have not kept up over the weekend or today. I think he might be still in Arizona. And of course, he is working on reportage of the Nancy Guthrie case, which we have an update of coming up in here a little bit. But before we do, let us go ahead and hop into the audio. Looks like we have about 26 minutes left. I have backed up about 20 seconds from where we left off. This is Jamie Phillips, pictured here for those of you who are watching, talking to Pasco County, Florida law enforcement. It's been called a 911 call. Oh, before I should shout out, there is a link to Paula Mooney's channel, Plunder True Crime, in the description below. It is my understanding that it is through her that we have gotten these recordings. So thank you, Paula, for that. If you guys don't subscribe to Paula. Her deal is she's just very good at FOIAs and right to know law requests and sunshine requests. She is in dogged pursuit of them. She's awesome. So check her out. Okay, so thanks to her that we have this. Let's go ahead and continue.
Like, way worse, because
I gotcha. So
he shattered my nose and septum. There was blood everywhere, you know, like just crazy. And I believe he left me unconscious there. So it's just like really crazy to believe that anyone is capable of any of that.
Yeah, I understand. So I did talk with some of my dispatchers, and so it looks like the way our county handles this is basically the report needs to be filed in the county you live in first. I know they said that you needed to call us first, but that's not how our county processes these sorts of incidents.
Oh my goodness, how frustrating is that, right? How frustrating is that? So he knows that she tried to do it in her county and they said, we don't do that. And she has to do it anyway. Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get us transferred over to Garland County's non-emergency line. I'm going to introduce us, let them know the situation, and that we require them to contact us for the situation.
Mm-hmm.
So just stay on the line with me, and I'll get us over there real quick, okay?
Okay.
Okay, good
Thank
for
you.
him. Oh, we got the Czech Republic in the house. Holy cow.
Sunday, February 1, 2026, 13:32 and 44 seconds.
So this sounds like a new call.
Thank you for calling the Garland County Sheriff's Office. If this is an emergency, please hang up and dial 911. Listen to the following options.
Okay, so I'm going to... It looks like she got cut off from that last one. And now she's calling the sheriff's office again.
As the menu has changed, for the detention center and inmate
Thank you,
info,
Jill.
press 1. To file a report or have a patrol deputy respond, press 2. For the criminal investigation division, press 3. For finance and accounting, press 4. For a civil matter, press 5. For records, press 6. For fines and fees, press 7. For PIO or media inquiries, press 8. For the operator, press 0. To the
No arrest that I know of, Lady
Garland
Jane.
County Dispatch.
Hi, ma'am. This is Pasco County, Florida. I have a caller on the line.
Oh, okay.
Phone number.
So she didn't get cut off.
Caller is reporting, basically she had a domestic battery experience here in our county. But since she lives in your county, the way our county handles these situations is the report needs to be taken by your county first and then sent via teletype to us.
So I'm not sure how that would go because that's not how it works here. Usually the only reason we would take a report is if it happened here within Garland County.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if a deputy would make a report for your county and then send it to you.
Would you? All right. Yeah. Thank you.
This reminds me of The Fifth Element, where they need
Sorry
a
about that. I
guide.
got a bunch of stuff going on.
No, you're okay.
A guide to get to through the bureaucracy.
Yeah. I'm not trying to be rude or anything. That's just usually how that goes. I'm not 100% if they
Unfortunately,
would do it.
it kind of sounds like both of our jurisdictions kind of butt heads on how the process is handled. And then we're left to kind of...
Pasco County?
Pasco County, Florida. Yes, ma'am.
I have her phone number. What's your guys's?
Our phone number to call into dispatch is going to be...
Sorry about that.
option 7.
I tried really hard to get rid of all the beeps, but I obviously missed a couple.
Okay, so, and what's her name?
It was...
And you said it was a battery?
a delayed battery from September 6th, 2025.
And that occurred last year.
Yeah.
So I can call, they're really busy right now. We have a full board going on. Whenever I have a deputy available, probably the OIC, I'll give him a phone call, and we'll just go from there. It'll probably be me that calls you guys back. I have her name and her phone number as well.
I do have her on the line as well. I can have her talk to you if you need any information.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
we usually just keep
I
the caller on the line when we...
but I just feel like it's just going to be repeating herself
I understand.
from what she's already told you guys, and I don't want her to have to do that if my deputies aren't going to take the report just because she lives here within Garland County and a battery occurred in Florida. Can I have her phone number again? I wrote down your guys'.
Her phone number...
Okay. I mean, I'll also take down the gist of what occurred, just in case I'm wrong, and I'll just go from there, okay?
Basically, she's had a DVI served to her ex-boyfriend, and it's over an incident. The initiating incident started in Washington. Her nose was broken. That's what led to the DVI being served. But then Washington has told her to file a report about other past batteries that have occurred, so that way they can help build the case to, I guess, follow up with, like, getting a case started for domestic battery.
Okay. Okay. All right. Like I said, ma'am, if you can still hear me, if a deputy does decide to give you a phone call, it'll be from a blocked or unknown phone number. So just stand by for that, and we'll just go from there. Okay?
Yeah, and I have another question. If they say that they're not, like, for one thing, I don't understand why you're not able to take a police report over the phone. That's number one.
I didn't say that they couldn't do that, and they can do a report over the phone. It was about where
so that seems to me like the easiest thing here is if I'm able to just do the report over the phone.
Yeah.
And I can email whatever it is that you need. That seems like a pretty simple solution. But if that's not possible, would I be able to have, like, a representative of mine come into Pasco County and file the report? Or if I'm able to get some sort of victim advocate or somebody like that to come in and file the report? I mean, I don't know why it's
about
difficult.
that county. So usually for us here in Garland County in Arkansas, the report needs to be made wherever that occurred. So the jurisdiction, whether it be Hot Springs PD or Saline County, if it happened there, you'd have to make a report through that specific county. And that's just how the whole procedures work. I'm not sure why, or, but that's usually how it goes. I might be wrong, and it's very instant because it sounds like there's just a lot going on, and they might be able to make it work. But that would be up to the deputy and not me.
Yeah.
So that's
no. I mean, I already came in and talked to the deputies there on Friday. So.
Okay. And
that's why I'm on the phone now, because they told me that they could not file the report because it did not happen here. And that's why I called back Pasco County.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Yeah, so I have your name and your phone number. I have a pretty good gist of what's going on. Whenever my OIC, which means officer in charge of whatever shift is on, I'm gonna call him and talk to him about what's going on and see what we can do. Okay. And it'll either be me that gives you a phone call, and it'll call back with the 3666 phone number.
Yeah. And my questions aren't necessarily just for you. It's also for the Pasco County rep that's on the phone with us as well. Because Pasco County should be able to take a police report over the phone, I would think. So
yeah, because our deputies can do that. Domestic disturbances, sometimes it just depends on when they occur. Like, I know he said that this one.
Well, yeah, and that's what they told me. Yeah, and that's what they told me. They specifically said that if it had happened here in Garland County in September, that they would literally take a report over the phone about it. Because since it happened a few months ago, it's not as if there's an active crime scene that they would need, you know what I mean? Like, so... Yeah. He said the normal protocol would just be to do it over the phone, so I'm not sure why Pasco's not able.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I might have the ROIC go call up there and see if he can get a little bit further on how their procedures work.
Yeah.
But I do have to go. There's a lot going on. I have to answer this 911 call, but I will call you back, okay?
Yeah.
Oh,
yep.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you, Garland. I appreciate you as well.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Sunday, February 1, 2026, 13:42 and 05 seconds.
All right, ma'am. So it
looks like they just time stamps it when they made it a 3-way call, and then when it became a 2-way call again, it seems like they just time stamped it. It's all the same call.
Yeah, so did you also...
As well. It does look like Garland will reach out to you. They'll see if they can handle it and actually take that, and like they said, they'll try and get in contact with our county as well to see. But if you can just call us back when they make contact with you and kind of advise what happened, and then it may not be me who's on the phone, but you can advise that you've tried twice to speak to Garland about getting the report finished there, and they're just, they can't handle it there. And then
and I mean, if you could find out. Yeah.
And then,
I mean, if you can find out on your end if I'm able to do the report over the phone, or like I said,
because it is delayed. If Garland County doesn't handle it, we can take a delayed call over the phone. But like I said, I was told by my supervisor that we have to try and initiate it with Garland County since that's the county you reside in.
Yeah, I mean...
I'm going to pause here for a second. Okay. Thank you to our law enforcement brothers and sisters who keep us safe, who investigate crimes, who get bad people off of the street. Thank you. Love you. Thank you. But this reminds me so much. I already said it. What's called the fifth element, right? Where you got to have some sort of guide to get you through bureaucracy. There's a supervisor that told that guy she has to at least try this. So you're just putting a roadblock in her way, something for her to hurdle first. You have the ability to take the report over the phone, but first you have to have her try it twice with another agency. Just why? Because that's what you want to do, your policy. You could just say to yourself, hey, this is a person who is saying that she has been abused by her domestic partner, wants to make a record of it. Let's make a record of it. Why does it have to be so hard? That is so annoying. It's killing me. All right, let's continue.
Yeah,
I understand it's a whole thing. Unfortunately, it's just different counties can have different operating procedures. There's not one standardized approach to how these are handled, unfortunately.
Right. So, yeah, if I can just do the report over the phone with Pasco, that would be ideal. But otherwise, also, I wanted to know if that's not an option, if someone else can come in person, because I just don't understand why.
Let me pause for this question. Just call me Kim P says, didn't she say she had pictures? The police in Chelan County, the deputy sheriff, had pictures taken. That was part of his narrative of his probable cause affidavit, right? That he had a first responder who was female go into the hotel bathroom and take photos so that she was comfortable. He had a female do it. And that same deputy said, I have probable cause to arrest Mr. Riches for these 3 felonies. So yeah, I think so. I think there's plenty of evidence.
Why I would have to actually be there in person to file a report.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not a deputy. I'm just a call taker here. I don't know the whole process. This is just what my dispatchers and supervisors are advising currently.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and the other thing too.
I know it's a very frustrating thing, and I'm very sorry for that. I wish I could assist more.
Well, I mean, the other thing too, though, from Garland County's perspective, they don't have anything to do with any of this. The only involvement that they have is they're the ones who filed the protection order.
Yeah, it's just our the way we do it is.
Yeah, that's true, Minnie.
Yeah, well, my first priority is just if you can find.
Hey, let me pause the audio here real quick because of this comment from Amy. This is the reason why you need to report abuse immediately when it happens. Listen, I'm a bit of a professional quibbler here. Okay, you guys know that. I have music, Gavin. Why aren't you using? There we go. Professional quibbler. That's how professional of a quibbler I am. I have a theme song for it, okay? So Amy, don't take this personally. It's not an attack on you. It's just I'm using your comment as, a prompt for discussion. Yes, and in an ideal world, those of us who are victim survivors should report quickly, immediately. We should do so with all sorts of documentation. And yeah, that is true. Also, you should report it if you decide a year down the road, I need to report this. You should. Look, I think in this group of us, we're about 1,000 people right now talking about this. There are likely many people who have experienced, let's say it this way. I have to be careful because of YouTube, but are DV victim survivors from the past, and there are some that are DV victim survivors currently. And I would imagine that there are some future DV victim survivors. Unfortunately, I don't want that to be the case. I just think it is reality, right? On this channel, we try really hard to learn, and we're going to use Amy's comment as a way to learn. She is correct. But also don't let that stop you from reporting later on down the road. That's all I'm saying with my professional quibble, okay? If you are in the throes of it right now, or if this happens to you in the future, near or far, remember this. This is what we're trying to learn today, right? Remember this. Document, 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 document. Don't document by like pulling out your phone, putting it in your abuser's face and daring that person to make it worse. Don't do that. Don't put yourself in danger, or don't put your children in danger or others in danger, right? Do it safely, do it smartly, but document, which would include going to a hospital and asking for a forensic nurse, okay? Ask for a forensic nurse to do an examination of you. Please, 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 please. Okay? And know that if this is happening to you, or if it does happen to you in the future, that there are so many of us who care about you, who love you, who want not just your survival, but your happiness and your well-being. And in each county of these United States, across the fruited plain from sea to shining sea, there are resources in every county. There are shelters, there are resources that you can get. And I should have picked this up. Let's see. Let me look it up. Yeah, so the National Domestic Violence Hotline is 800-799-7233. 800-799-7233. Or you can text BEGIN, the word BEGIN, to 88788. All right? And they will also be able to put you in touch with local resources that can help you escape safely. Okay? You can do it. All right, let's get back to the recording.
Out and have someone call me if I can do the report over the phone. I've already, this is not my first call to Pasco County. I called a couple of days right after the incident when I arrived there to let them know the situation in the first place, because at the time when I got back, I didn't know where he was, and I didn't know, if he was going to show up while I was packing.
Can you imagine the terror going back to the house, packing your stuff, not knowing at any moment is he going to come in the door? Ooh.
Things like that. So I've been keeping Pasco in the loop this whole time since the incident. I've made several calls now at this point. So I feel like you should be aware of the situation. And like I said, I do have I did type up a statement that I can send and all of that. But it doesn't sound like Garland's going to do anything. So.
Yeah, I understand. I am still trying my very best to work with you here and see if we can't find a solution.
Yeah, well, if you can just maybe have a deputy call or something.
Yeah.
The last deputy I talked to is the one who told me to try to file it at Garland.
I'm sorry, I'm just communicating with a couple of my supervisors as well, trying to figure out the best course of action if we can, because if I can just handle it right here, if they just give me the go-ahead and say, yes, just go ahead and start the call, then we can be done here really quickly. It'll just take me a few minutes to get a response.
Good for him for at least trying, right? He's trying to work within that bureaucracy. Good for him.
Yeah.
And if not, if this is going to continue to be kind of a back and forth trying to figure out this situation, then I'll just have a deputy reach out to you.
Okay. Yeah, I don't mind waiting. I'm not doing anything else. So this is like my job now.
Yeah.
Oh. She probably has to giggle just to keep from crying, right? Let me pause the recording here for just a second. S. Mickey's Mouse 25. I agree it's awful how they're treating her, giving her the running around, but she should have gone to the hospital originally. They would have got her to a safe place. Again, okay, just quibbling. Sometimes the psychology of DV is fascinating, and it's so difficult to break out of the cycle. She did break out of it while she was in Chelan County. I think the complicating factor here is that the original call that started all this, not the original alleged abuse, but the original call that started all this happened in Washington State in the West. Then she goes back to Florida where she's co-domiciled and owns a home with him, and then goes up to Garland County, why am I blanking? Arkansas, because that's where her support system is. Like, she did go to the hospital in Washington, is what I'm saying. Now, I get what you're telling me there, Mouse, that there was abuse prior, but we also need to extend as much grace as we can here, just to understand how difficult it is to break out of this cycle and get to the point where you're brave enough and feel safe enough to make a call to police. I guess that would be my quibble there.
Yeah, I don't know why my dog always acts crazy when I'm on the phone. He wants attention.
Honestly, I can't even hear him, so you must have noise canceling or something.
That's funny.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a mute from being. I hope that.
All right. Yeah. So I did just receive confirmation from another supervisor, because you as the victim live in their jurisdiction. They have to start the report. But we'll have a deputy call you as well.
Well,
so
yeah, but here's the thing though. You keep saying that I live in their jurisdiction, but my driver's license says that I live in Pasco County, Florida. I'm staying at an Airbnb. I wouldn't characterize it that I live in Garland County.
Okay.
I mean, I'm literally just here for safety reasons
Good
and
for her.
to get medical treatment.
I got it. So,
like, yeah, I just think it just sounds weird when you keep saying that I live in their jurisdiction, because I literally just got here like 3 weeks ago.
No, I understand. Just from the information I had, I was led to believe that you might have been staying up there, like not trying to come back to Pasco. So that's why I was saying live there. I'm sorry.
I don't know if I'll come back to Pasco. I don't know if I'll come back to Pasco or not. I mean,
it was
temporarily
just a misunderstanding on my end, and I'm very sorry for that.
Well, and that may be the issue overall, now that I think about it, because the other guy kept saying that too, and it's like, I wouldn't characterize it that I, quote, live here. I came here to hide out.
I got
it.
This is
for
like
her.
a hiding place.
Yeah.
So I'm in an Airbnb right now, and I'm getting a different Airbnb in a couple weeks that I'm staying temporarily. But I don't know. I may come back to Florida because he's pending a criminal case. Like, his case in Washington is very, very serious.
Yeah.
And they told me that they intend to extradite him. So they could file charges and extradite him tomorrow, for all I know. And then he could be out of the house for good. So then I may come back to my house. I mean, but my house is in Pasco. That's where I live.
Yeah.
So, like,
gotcha. So
good for her. Hey, let's pause it for a second for this question from Eagle Wings 4. Gavin, are there forensic nurses at all hospitals? No, they're not at all hospitals. According to Brian Bennett, they are at like each hospital has, it's not like a grading, but it's kind of a, some hospitals are very, very rural, don't have all resources and all services, and some hospitals are in cities that do have all resources, right? So there tend to be forensic nurses in the big hospitals, but if they don't have a forensic nurse at your hospital, there usually are roving ones, or there's a hospital nearby where they can bring one in. So yeah, always ask for a forensic nurse. And if they can't get you one there, but there's a hospital an hour or two away, I'm sorry for the extra work, but it is better to travel, in my opinion, to where you can be seen by a forensic nurse, if you can, safely. Great question.
right now,
I mean, I'm like basically on vacation here is all. Like I don't have a driver's license here. I don't pay taxes here. I don't have a job here. I don't have any of that. So I live in Pasco County for all intents and purposes.
All right, I gotcha. So what we're going to do is we're going to have one of our law enforcement deputies reach out to you via phone, and they should be able to give you some more information. Unfortunately, I'm not a deputy. I just work in dispatch.
Yeah.
But they should be able to talk you through the process, get a little more information about everything that's happened, and be hopefully in a much better position to further assist you with this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and so and they usually call back from a private number too, right?
Yeah. It'll be a private restricted or blocked number as well. So hopefully you'll hear back from our deputies as well fairly soon.
Yeah, or either.
It should definitely.
Yeah, either that or Garland, and if I hear back from Garland, I'll let you know. And what was your name? So because in case I need to call back.
Real quick, this comment from Diamond Ring Girl. If she has a PFA on him, she should have been with state police till she gets her things. Why would she go alone? Even go with a friend as a last resort, but not alone. I don't think she had the PFA at that time. I think she was, again, I mean, it's really hard for me to walk in her shoes on this. But I can imagine in your mind coming to a conclusion that it's a logical and rational conclusion to say, I'm going to get there first real fast, get in and get out. In the state of mind where you might be in, right? Like you just took a beating out of state over the Christmas holiday, allegedly, right? I'm just saying from her perspective, you had to go to a hospital, you had photos taken of you, and then you had your phone taken from you, and then you have to rush back to get your things, to get yourself to a safe place. I can see why a person would come to the conclusion that that's the best course of action. But what Diamond Ring Girl is saying is probably the better course of action, right? Again, we're trying to learn here. We're trying to get better here. If any of us are in this situation in the future, we want to know what to do properly, right? Get the PFA, be escorted, so you're safe. Just, your safety and the safety of like your children, your minors, anybody who might also be in danger. That is the number one priority. Thanks for that comment.
My name is
funny because my last name is and I named my dog like.
That's fun. That's funny.
Yeah, I have a dog named.
Alrighty. Well, I'm sorry this took so.
Well, I'll remember that.
Yeah, I'm sorry this took so long, and hopefully we can.
It's no problem. I understand it's. No, I understand it's completely complicated. I mean, I've been dealing with this for a month now, and it's just you don't even know. It's because it's just this is like one component. I also have all the medical stuff I've been dealing with too.
Yeah, I gotcha. All right, so just be on the lookout for phone calls from blocked, restricted, or private numbers. That's either going to be Garland County or us.
Yeah.
And hopefully a deputy either in Garland or one of our Pasco deputies hopefully someone will take it for you.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you helping me and taking the time today.
Not a problem. I'm sorry it took so long, but I hope you have a safe rest of your day.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
If you guys are interested.
Sunday, February 1,
We've got about 3 minutes left.
6:40.
Let me just pause it for a second. If you guys are interested, maybe I could have my niece Natalie back on, who is a former dispatcher, who has been in this situation before. Well, I would imagine she's been in a situation similar to this before, to see. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you think I ought to have Natalie back, because the last time Natalie was on, you guys loved her. And why wouldn't you? Natalie is lovable. She's awesome. So maybe we should give her a call and try to understand the position of the dispatcher on this.
57 and 08 seconds.
Communications, how can I help you?
This is Corporal Yarborough with the Garland County Sheriff's Office in Hot Springs, Arkansas. How are you?
I'm all right. How about yourself?
I'm all right. I'm following up with y'all calling and speaking to my dispatch about a crime that occurred in y'all's county.
Okay. Do you happen to have a case number or address in our county?
This is a follow-up from yesterday or day before yesterday. Some lady that was living there in Pasco County got abused by her husband. She's living here in Garland County now, and y'all are trying to get us to do the report. So I'm trying to speak to a supervisor or somebody about that.
Okay, I gotcha. All right, just give me one moment.
I'm glad that they followed up.
Her name is the victim. If that helps.
And then, I'm sorry, what's a good callback number for you in case we're disconnected while I'm pulling this up or trying to pull it up?
You just had to call my dispatch. And you can ask for Corporal Yarborough.
Okay. If I have one of my units do the callback, if they ask for you directly, will they just be able to transfer over to you?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, okay. I don't get, because we have our personal cell phone. We don't have county-issued phones, so I don't give out my number.
I gotcha. Okay. I just wanted to clarify because, like, I don't have direct transfers over to my deputies. That's why I wanted to make sure. So. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Our guys and gals can do that. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I'm sorry, what county were you from again?
Garland County in Hot Springs, Arkansas.
Alright, thank you. Okay.
Yeah, my dispatcher didn't get who she spoke with today. It was a guy, though. I do know that.
Okay.
So we've had a busy Sunday here in Garland County.
I gotcha. Okay, just give me one moment.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, alright, now I'm finding it. I was like, why isn't that popping up? Okay, alright, so I'll go ahead notate to have one of our deputies or sergeants call you back and request to speak with you directly. We still currently have it pulled in now.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, alright, thank you very much. You stay safe and stay warm, okay?
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
Alright, so that is the entire... That's the entire audio. We've listened to the whole thing. We've made it through there. Man, that whole bureaucratic circle is infuriating, is it not? But good for her for continuing on. Hey, I saw this comment. Where is it? You probably should stop saying you're jealous of JLR. Guys, I am very comfortable with who I am and what my life is. I'm not jealous of him. You've got to recognize that he has built a channel that a lot of people follow, and that requires a lot of work and it requires a lot of talent, whether you like him or it or not, right? And he's not a person I like or respect. He's not a person that I want to emulate. But his minions come on here and talk. Well, they troll is what they do, and so I just preempt it by saying, yeah, okay, yeah, you're right, I'm jealous. That's it. That's exactly it, and I am. This guy's got 500,000 subscribers, and he gets hundreds of thousands of views. It's like he's printing money over there. I cannot believe how many people follow that channel. And there are live streams of him doing nothing. And 20, 30, 40,000 people watch it at a time. It's crazy. I'm definitely jealous of that. You know what Steve Martin said? Steve Martin said that when people ask him, how do you break into the business? You know, how do I get an agent? How do I get representation? How do I do? His answer is, you have to be so good that they can't ignore you. And apparently JLR is good. People don't ignore him. It baffles me. It baffles me. But yeah. Anyway, so hey, Magnolia, if she ever watches this or listens to me on Spotify or on a podcast or here on YouTube, I think that you are gritty and amazing and working really hard to do something in a system that is not that seems to be built to prevent you from doing it. On the other hand, it is also kind of cool that the dispatcher was working hard on your behalf. The corporal called back, right? Got all those things. So that's working for you. And I hope that, I hope there's an arrest on this. I really do. And it can go through the court system. And if a jury finds him not guilty, then a jury finds him not guilty. But I hope it goes through the system, and I hope that I hope that Magnolia is safe, and yeah, any of you who are experiencing the same thing can be safe as well. All right, guys. Let me look at my little agenda for the day. That's what we got there. Oh, man, Gavin, how could you forget? We do this every single time. Let's move on to 3 questions. Let's do it. Come on.
3 questions with Gavin Fish.
Okie dokie. In this segment, what I do is I answer 3 of your questions. And you can send these questions into 3questions at gavinfish.com. It's spelled out. I'm sorry. Yeah, 3questions at gavinfish.com. 3questions at gavinfish.com, spelled out THREE, questions at gavinfish.com. You can ask as many as you want. I will answer 3 at a time. And I do this segment, one, because it's kind of fun to hear your answers to these questions, not because I like to necessarily answer questions about myself, but I like your answers. And 2, when we get into headlines, it gives you something to do to put into the chat. I love your answers to this. Okay, so let's hop into 3 questions. What is our first question of the day, Gavin? Diane G asks, what would you do if you won the lottery? Okay, well, first off, this is a terrific question for those of you who would tell. Bonus points for people who make me laugh with what they would do if they won the lottery. But for me, in order for me to win the lottery, I'd have to play it first, and that's the crux of the kerfuffle. It's not really a kerfuffle. What is it? It's it's the crux of the question. I can't get to what would I do if I won the lottery, because I will never win the lottery because I don't play the lottery. But okay, this is hypothetical. What would I do? I think I would be low-key the guy that you don't know won the lottery. First off, we already kind of live in an ostentatious place. I don't want a bigger house. I don't want a nicer house. I don't want a newer house. I am overly satisfied with what we have. I would probably buy a new car. There's a funny story in our area here where there's this house that was just a normal house on a street that it all of a sudden got a paint job. Then all of a sudden it got a giant fountain out in front of it that was like way too big for the house. It was like this, like the fountain outscaled the house. And we're all we'd walk past and like, what the devil is going on? That person must really love fountains. But then you start looking at it. No, this isn't like bowl. This is a crazy fountain, right? Well, it turns out that the person had won a pretty substantial sum from the lottery and apparently decided to put a fountain in front of their house. The funny thing is that when that person left and sold the house, the very first thing that the new buyers did was like, take out this tacky fountain. Yeah, I don't think that you would notice. Maybe a new car, but it would just be a car that I would normally drive anyway. I don't know. I don't know. I'd like to think that I would donate it and give it away, but no, I'd probably endeavor to hide it so that people didn't know what was going on. Don't want the kids to know. The kids will always be asking for money. Don't want that. That's a funny question. Love to hear your answers to that. Question number 2. Rua asks, favorite bumper sticker that you remember? Okay, it's going to be a soapbox. I don't have a soapbox piece of music or stinger for you, but here's Gavin's soapbox, okay? Bumper stickers are tacky, okay? They just are. I'm sorry. It's tacky to put a bumper sticker on your car. Now you may be saying, Gavin, no, I don't put it on the paint. I put it on the window. Still tacky. Okay? Stop putting bumper stickers on your car. I've never seen a bumper sticker where I said, man, that added to the car. That really made a beautiful car. And and I'm a car person. I'm a bit of a car aficionado. Not somebody who's owned like beautiful cars or anything, but I do love classic cars. It's not like I've ever seen an episode of Jay Leno's Garage or something like that where they're like, all right, Mr. Leno, we're finished with your Gullwing Mercedes. And he goes, great. And then he peels off a bumper sticker and slaps it on. No, don't do that. I've never seen a bumper sticker that I liked. Not one time. Not once. Oh, there are probably so many of you just yelling at me right now. They're like, Gavin, get your nose out of the air. But I maintain that it is tacky to put bumper stickers on cars. Don't do it. Don't do it. All right. And then question number 3, what is your favorite movie genre? Well, I am also a bit of a movie buff. I do consume quite a bit of movies. Quite a bit of movies? Is that what I just said? Javi, I need to take 2. I do consume filmed entertainment, let's say. I would say if done well, if done really well, I think my favorite genre is the humble American Western. I love it if done well. There's a lot of crap Westerns out there though, right? In fact, my favorite movie of all time, I maintain it's the best, not only the best Western of all time, but the best movie of all time. For me, is Open Range with Kevin Costner, Robert Duvall, Annette Bening. I'm blanking on the original Dumbledore's name right now. What's his name? It had... I'm just blanking on names right now. Mr. Noodle's brother, Mr. Noodle, in it. It is the best movie of all time. And just like a week ago, I was reading The Man from Snowy River, the original poem, to our kids. And they said, there's a movie based on this? I said, yeah. And they said, I'm into it. So we watched Man from Snowy River. And while Man from Snowy River would have you believe that there are mobs of criminal horses running the continent, other than that, it's an awesome Western. Quigley Down Under is an awesome Western, right? But anyway, I do love the Western if it's done right. Now, in today's day and age, there are a lot of Westerns that are being made by like one particular person who is a very good writer, but I've had enough of him. He shall remain nameless out of respect. but I've had enough. I'm ready to move on to a different genre, different subgenre of Western. I also really like action movies that aren't just action for the sake of action, but have really good story plots. Like the original Bourne Identity was amazing. I loved it. And going back to the Harrison Ford days where he played Jack Ryan, so like Clear and Present Danger, great. Actually, Hunt for Red October, another Jack Ryan. So I like those that they do have action in them. They are an action movie, but the story is terrific too. That's my deal. I'd love to hear what yours are. Those are your 3 questions. Now, guys, don't forget to send your questions in. I'm not running low because Diane G. No, I think one of the Dianes gave me a bunch of questions. But if you want your question answered, send it into 3questions@gavinfish.com, and I will do my best to answer it. With that, let's get into some true crime headlines.
True crime headlines.
Okie dokie. Remember, we're trying a new thing today. We've got some updates in the world of true crime. Then we've got some good news. Let's start with Nancy Guthrie and Gavin. Hey, Javi, this is my fault. This isn't your fault, buddy, but I guess I just need help remembering to push the right buttons. There we go. Because I have buttons. Javi's buttons are big buttons. Mine are little buttons, the unimportant buttons. Okay. Yeah. I can't believe that it happened today of all days. The day that Savannah Guthrie returns to the Today Show, and it was done through TMZ. But this from NewYorkPost.com, written by David Proper. New Nancy Guthrie ransom note sent to TMZ claims to know her location. We're not going to read the whole thing, but we'll get the gist of it. TMZ received 2 more purported ransom notes Monday, this very day, claiming to know where Nancy Guthrie's body is and who is responsible for her kidnapping, the outlet revealed. The pair of notes was sent from the same mystery person who, nearly 2 months ago, demanded 1 Bitcoin in exchange for information related to Guthrie's February 1st disappearance. Quote, "We got another letter today from this person, an email saying, I know where her body is and who the kidnapper is. Give me half a Bitcoin and I'll tell you," Harvey Levin said on air Monday, the same day Savannah Guthrie returned to the Today Show. For the first time since her mom went missing, the note claimed she is dead. After that first note was addressed on TMZ Live by Levin, the gossip site founder, another note came in by Levin, the gossips. Okay. Another note came in from the same person stating, I saw her alive with them in the state of Sonora, Mexico, according to the outlet. TMZ said it's alerted the FBI. Maybe we will read this whole thing. It doesn't matter. Okay. New notes pointing to Mexico. I don't know what to believe here. I don't even know. All right, guys, Amy Hilliard is still missing. We covered this on the channel. And in fact, you know what I realized? I forgot to put the links in the description below that I'm going over today. I will put them as soon as we're done here. But Amy Hilliard is still missing. This by Sam Gillette on people.com. Husband of missing coffee shop owner speaks out. Gotta cover up their yawns. I hate it when that happens. Speaks out as search approaches second week. As the search for a missing California coffee shop owner approaches the second week, her husband shared the family's heartbreak over her disappearance. Quote, as more time goes by without Amy, the agony of her absence is devastating, Chris Hilliard said in a statement shared on a website dedicated to the search for his wife, Amy Hilliard, who was last seen on Wednesday, March 25th. That website, by the way, I'm going to open up so you guys can see it. It's called Bring Amy Home. I will put a link down in the description below, but definitely check it out, okay? We are still holding on to hope thanks to Amy's community of friends and volunteers who continue to search for her every day, he continued. Per the update on Friday, April 3rd, they are a source of strength to our family and me. Excuse me. On March 25th, around 2 p.m. local time, she was last seen in the 500 block of Radnor Road in Oakland. It was later reported that around 4:30 she was seen near Diamond Park. She was last seen wearing a white short-sleeved shirt, light-colored jeans, white sneakers with black stripes. She's described as a white woman with blonde hair and hazel eyes who is 5 feet 4 inches tall and weighs 120 pounds. Police said the missing woman is at risk due to medical conditions. So if you're in the Oakland area or the Bay Area, please be on the lookout for Amy Hilliard. Yeah, crazy. All right, this is a case that I got a couple of emails about. I haven't been following it. It's the DeMorris Hunter case, Florida v. DeMorris Hunter. This brought to us from Court TV. A man convicted of murder in California faces a potential death sentence if he's found guilty on charges he killed a different woman in Florida. DeMorris Hunter, 59, is charged with first-degree murder and theft in the death of Teresa Ann Green, 38, who was found strangled to death and left in the trunk of her own car. On May 26, 2002, Hunter was living in the same apartment building as the victim, and the two were both guests at a party hosted by Joyce Butler and Joseph Butler, who also lived in the building. The two went to leave the party at the same time, and witnesses told police that they saw both the victim and the defendant fall down the stairs before getting up and entering the victim's apartment. The Butlers told police that several hours after the party ended, Hunter returned to their apartment and asked Joseph Butler for a favor. Hunter allegedly gave Joseph Butler the keys to a white van and asked him to drive behind him as he drove Green's car. Joseph Butler never saw Green. Hunter parked Green's Oldsmobile at a Walgreens and then joined Joseph Butler in the white van. When Joseph Butler asked why the victim's vehicle was being left behind, Hunter said, "I did something really bad." Joseph Butler told police he then said he didn't want to hear anything else and the topic was dropped. Anyway, today was day one of his case. Maybe we'll follow that one. Okay, good news of the day, guys. Good news of the day. You ready? Here we go. This from East Idaho News, which is quickly becoming one of my favorite news outlets. From April 6th. This can't be real. Idaho pizza delivery man's kind gesture earns nearly $75,000 in donations. Check this out. Dan Simpson delivers pizza and soda. Oh, no. Blah, blah, blah. Dan Simpson, dateline is Boise. Dan Simpson didn't think anything of it when he veered a few hundred feet off his Domino's route in Boise on Friday night to pick up a pair of liter bottles of Diet Coke. Little did he know it would lead to a mind-boggling pizza delivery tip. The 68-year-old Boise native, who has spent more than a decade delivering for Domino's a few nights a week to supplement his day job at the Idaho Department of Agriculture, said this wasn't the first time he went out of his way for a customer. So when he realized Domino's was out of the soda listed on one of his orders and the customer didn't answer his call asking for a substitute, his next thought was, what the heck? He ran across the street to a convenience store and bought the soda, delivering it to the West Boise home so that the order was complete. As ordinary as he thought that was, what followed was extraordinary. When he returned to work the next day, his much younger coworkers told him, "Man, you're famous, dude." Simpson's simple act and a video of his interaction with the grateful customer went viral. By last Monday, the video captured by customer Brian Wilson's Ring camera and uploaded to TikTok had amassed more than 325,000 views. A GoFundMe launched by Wilson on Simpson's behalf had raised more than $17,000. By Tuesday, the fund was close to $25,000. As of Monday, today, nearly $75,000 had been donated, and I saw it was about 77 the last time I checked. Now it's at 82, which is rad. I love that people are awesome. That makes me happy. The world needs more Dans. Last night, something simple turned into something really special, and we can't stop thinking about it, he wrote on the GoFundMe page. He recalled being blown away when Simpson arrived at his door with the bottles, despite it being a busy night of deliveries. Anyway, I will put the link in the description down below. Look at Dan Simpson, delivering the soda bottles with the pizza that he went and picked up from the grocery store. I just love it. If you have a piece of good news, hey, send it my way, will you? Maybe post it in the fish tank. If you guys don't know, I always put a link to my website in the description below. You can go to my website, click on this little fishy. That will take you over to the fish tank where we hang out on Facebook. If Facebook's your thing, you're cordially invited to join us in the tank. It would be awesome if you would. And if you have good news, that is a great place to post it. Speaking of my website, guys, thank you so much for the support. I deeply appreciate the super chat and super sticker tonight. Thank you for those who send me things in the mail, for sending me PayPals, and who are patrons and members here on YouTube. I deeply appreciate you. Also, hey, buy Autumn a coffee, will you, every once in a while? If you're up for it, you can go to my website, gavinfish.com, go to the support tab, and there's a button where you can buy Autumn a coffee there. All right, guys, with that, I shall bid you adieu. I think we're probably done with this story for a little while, unless an arrest happens or something else happens. But we will continue to keep our eye on it. And with that, I bid you adieu. Thank you very much for being here. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below.